Hello everybody, it's the Worm, and welcome back to Steins Gate. Last time, we had a lot dumped on us all at once. Well, for one, Suzuha showed up, which is great. We all love Suzuha, but unfortunately, it's not the Suzuha we knew. It was not the Alpha Worldline Suzuha, it was actually the Beta Worldline Suzuha. And as I suspected, her tone indicated that she wasn't really seeing us under the best circumstances. That turned out to be true. Because it turns out, at least for Beta Worldline Suzuha, rather than a CERN-induced dystopia, we have World War III. So, yeah, we really can't catch a break here. And it seems that no one is able to catch a break on any sort of world line. So I know I said previously something like, oh, we're going to need a Gamma world line, or we're going to need, Delta world line. We're going to have to go even further afield. Well, from what Suzuha told us, that seems like that may not be an option, because as far as, well, again, this is coming from Suzuha, but as far as Daru and Okabe were able to tell, pretty much all the observed world lines that they could find seem to be not doing too well. You know, they all have some sort of huge thing occurring, because we're at one of those points in history where something major is going to happen. So the last one I think they said was Y2K, then the World Wars, the Cold War, you know. Something big is going to happen. Just, or maybe not with Y2K, because that was an example where something didn't happen. But in any case, it seems like nowhere we turn will we find any sort of safety. Now, we have been presented with one possibility of survival, or at least an alternative, not necessarily survival for our characters, but it is in the supposed existence of a Steins Gate world line, which, of course, was named by future Okabe. But it is apparently an unobserved world line that they have, well, I'm not sure how confident they are. I don't know if it's purely theoretical, but, Suzuha didn't tell us everything, but they at least told her enough that she's confident in the plan and she trusts them enough that she's going to carry it out. So, obviously Okabe was a bit upset to hear what happened. Or what will happen, I should say. But he seems to have decided that fate, well, maybe that's not the right way to say it. He seems to have come to terms with the idea that he's fated to have to do this. Of course, he was reasonably upset to hear that, everything was going to go wrong after all the effort to try and make things right. But he, as, in his mind, since he had already seen Suzuha appear, at the very, very, very beginning of this story, we had already seen Beta Worldline Suzuha appear on the roof with her machine. Okabe is reasoning that, he doesn't really have a choice. Fate has decided he's already going to do it, so whatever. Or at least that's the way he justifies it to himself. It is interesting because he gave a lot of reasons why he didn't want to do it, and then pretty instantly said, okay, gonna do it anyway because it's already happened. I have to do it. So, he's kind of resigned to it more than anything else, it feels like. And the key to getting on that world line is to save Krisu, which is, well, I'm certainly okay with that plan. So yeah, I do want to say I was kind of half expecting us to end last episode because, you know, they played the, it wasn't exactly the title, the song that's on the title screen. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was a different version of it with the lyrics. Or no, not the title screen. The kind of like main theme of Steins Gate. They played another version of it, and so I was thinking we weren't going to actually see them go back and do whatever it is they're doing. So I'm pleasantly surprised, I guess, that we're continuing on. I don't know how many chapters are after this, but yeah, let's continue on and see where this takes us. It could be fairly simple, where they just show kind of what I've been wanting for a long time, where I wanted to see, okay, what are all the what's actually happening in all those weird circumstances that happened at the beginning of the game. I've been waiting for that, and this finally seems like it's going to be it. But are we going to go beyond that? Is it just going to be a few quick scenes and then we get there, or what? Is there more to it? Okay, let's stop wasting time and actually get into this thing, shall we? Okay, the interior is cylindrical and surprisingly tight. When I sit down on the ledge that rims the cylinder, it puts me face to face with Suzuha. Kind of like one of those giant teacup rides. There are fewer controls than I expected. The inside definitely looks more refined than what I saw of Suzuha's time machine on the Alpha World line. But one thing remains the same. The time display on the time display panel, a black screen with red lettering. I guess that's just Daru's taste. Give me your phone. When I hand it over, Suzuha casually tosses it out of the hatch.
What?
That was rude. Hey. It's better not to bring it. It'll cause interference. Interference? Oh, I see. We're going to July 28th, so there'll be 2 of me. And if I bring it, 2 of my phone. I guess that could be a problem if I get a call or something. So, time travelers really do need to be careful about what they bring on the past. To the past. Shut the hatch. I hear Mayuri and Daru cheering outside. Mayuri caught my phone, thankfully. I give them a final nod, then close the hatch. Silence engulfs us. Suzuha is operating the time display panel. She sets our destination, July 28th, 2010, 11:50 a.m. That should do it. That's cutting it awfully close. I remember that Dr. Nakabachi's presentation begins at 12. This time machine can't physically move. Meaning?
例えばここ。つまりラジカンの屋上からタイムトラベルを開始した場合、どの時間へ飛んでもラジカン屋上の座標にしか到着しないんだ。
No matter what time we travel to, we'll always arrive at the exact same coordinates. In other words, on the roof of Radican. Okay. So, presumably you shouldn't go too far back, as in before there was a building here at all, or else it'll be quite a rough landing. And then maybe you shouldn't go too far in the future, because what if they, you know, say they tear down the building and make a newer one that's taller. So you're kind of confined within a certain time frame, I guess. Or could you say, when it says the exact same coordinates, could you you know, with a crane or something, could you move it to the street, and then would you, you know, teleport essentially back to the roof, or would you be in the same coordinates on the same street in the past or future? Is that how it works? That's interesting. You know, we had that discussion, or it was part of a discussion pretty early on in the story regarding sort of how time travel works. And because there's the idea that everything in space is moving, including the Earth, obviously. So it's not just... the idea is, if you were to time travel, technically, you know, even 1 second into the past, if you were in the exact same location in a second, but you went to the past, you would not be on Earth anymore, because the Earth and everything in space is moving, you know, at however many miles per hour. I know it's a lot, I just don't remember the exact number. And so, I mean, this was discussed in near the very beginning. I can't remember if it was the conference that Chrisu gave, or if it was something later on with John Titor or Suzuha, but I know the game definitely brought it up at some point. So that must be... So obviously, this machine must be accounting for that in some way. Okay.
まあ、本当はもっといろいろ複雑な計算してんだけど、今は説明しない。
I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but there's no time to explain. What do you mean there's no time? We have all the time in the world, Suzuha. We can time travel.
とにかくそういうことなんで、発表会の前日に飛ぶこともできるけどさ、そのせいで騒ぎになって発表会中止とかになっちゃまずいでしょ。だからむしろ時間ギリギリの方がいい。
Anyway, we could leap to the day before the presentation, but if we attract too much attention, they could close Radicon and cancel the presentation. That's why we've got to cut it close. I see.
おじさんってタイムトラベルは初体験だっけ？
This is, you know, I'm just looking at this illustration here. I know she's blonde normally, but I'm sure it's just the glow from the panel, or you know, the interior of the time machine. But she has this sort of grayish, maybe almost silver-colored hair here. Kind of interesting. Uncle, this is your first time traveling, right? Okay, first, stop calling me uncle. And yes, I've made more time leaps than I want to remember, but I've never time traveled before.
John Titor 曰く、かなりの G が発生して引っ張られるような感覚があるらしい。
According to John Titor, the G forces are pretty strong. You feel like you're being stretched out.
ああ、それ書いたの、私。
Yeah, I wrote that.
John Titor のことか。
The John Titor stuff.
そう、2000年に飛んだ時に。
Right, back when I leapt to 2000.
そうか。
I see. The past has changed. Changed back, I suppose, from my point of view. When I was on the Alpha World Line, I saw Titor post on that channel in real time. On this world line, those posts were made to an English BBS in the year of 2000. $2,000? It's 2010 right now, right? Aren't you... How old is Okabe again? Is he... I probably didn't write this down. Although I probably should have. 18 years old. I did write it down. It's 2010. So you were looking on @channel when you were 8? Is that something 8-year-olds in Japan normally do? Browse @channel? To an English BBS? I must be getting something wrong here. Okay. You don't sound surprised. Nothing can surprise me now. My brain's too busy trying to process all this new information. It feels like it's gonna blow.
改めてこのミッションについて説明するね。向こうに着いたらのんびり話してる時間はないはずだからさ。
I'll go over the mission one more time. Once we arrive, there will be no time for chit-chat. I will make one more comment here. I am glad to see Suzuha again, but I am a bit sad that she's... You know, there's a valid reason as to why, but I'm a bit sad that she's kind of less chill than the alpha Worldline Suzuha. You know, just the girl who just enjoyed messing with her bike. And what did she say? Was it Chisu or Chise? I don't know Japanese. When she just said, you know, what's up? Yeah, I kind of miss the chill Suzuha. But it is good to see her.
目的はマキセ・クリスの死の回避。
The objective is to prevent Makise Krisu's death. Ever since I returned to this world line, I've avoided all news of Krisu's murder. I was afraid of setting that result in stone. So I still don't know who killed Krisu. I don't know how or why she died. I don't know anything at all. If I had known it would come to this, would I have looked things up? I ask myself that question. The answer is no. I think that's going to be pertinent. The fact that he didn't look up anything about what happened. I think there's definitely going to be details we missed because of that. What about the attractor field? Excuse me. What about attractor field convergence?
言ったでしょ？その日は分岐点なの。
That day's a turning point, remember?
マキセ・クリスの死の可能性は大雑把に計算して 50% なんだよ。
Meaning the probability of Makise Krisu's death is roughly 50%.
収束は起きないんだな。
So convergence won't happen.
起きるかもしれない。多分起きる。でもきっと抜け道があるはず。その抜け道こそがシュタインズゲートの入り口なの。
It may happen. It may not. No, it probably will. But I'm sure there's a loophole somewhere. That loophole is the doorway to Steins Gate. So in the end, it's a gamble.
それと一つ忠告を。ドクター中鉢には気をつけて。
The day's a turning point. This was probably discussed before, but I don't recall very well. Is it wrong to ask, what's the... I mean, it makes sense, because Makise Krisu is potentially the mother of time travel, right? So, obviously, her dying is very important to various world lines. What would be... So, this might not be the right question to ask, but... Would it be right in saying... What would be the turning point day with regard to Mayuri's death? Because that was always set in stone. So presumably at some point before Mayuri's death, there's a turning point? Well, I mean... I guess I'm just suddenly confused by the idea of a turning point today. Was this brought up before? Probably. I don't know. Okay. Oh, one more thing. Watch out for Dr. Nakabachi. I knew that guy had to be important. They gave him art, character artwork. I knew he had to come back at some point. What do you mean?
私のいた2036年では第三次世界大戦が起きたって言ったよね。
Remember what I said about World War III?
その原因をたどっていくと中鉢論文に行き着く。ドクター中鉢が書いたっていうタイムマシンに関する文書なんだけど。
Get out of town. It all started because of something called the Nakabachi paper. A paper Dr. Nakabachi wrote detailing his theory of time travel.
しかし、奴のタイムトラベル理論はジョン・タイターのパクリ。
But that fraud's theory was just a ripoff of John Titor's. Wait a minute. John Titor is sitting right in front of me.
お、つまりタイターがネットに書き込んだことは正しいということか。
Wait, so what Titor posted on the internet was true?
一部に嘘を混ぜておいたから、私が書き込んだ時はあんまり相手にされなかったんだけど。
I mixed in some lies, so not many people listened to me at the time.
まさか10年経って再評価されるとはね。私の書いた理論をもとに独自の考えを加えたみたい。その完成度はとても高いらしいんだ。
I never thought someone would reevaluate it 10 years later. Looks like he built his theory off of what I wrote. Apparently, it's almost perfect. What was... Now, I had heard of John Titor before going through Steins Gate. But I've not... and I know they brought it up within the story. But I don't recall precisely what it was that original John Titor said. In reality, is what I mean. But it was similar to the CERN storyline, right? So what was Suzuha, this Suzuha, what was her objective in making those posts? Not sure I understand that.
とにかくドクター中鉢はマキセ・クリスの殺された会場にいたんだよね。だから彼には注意しといて。彼もまた世界線を大きく変えるキーマンのはず。
Anyway, Dr. Nakabachi was there when Makise Krisu was killed, right? So watch out for him. I'm sure he's important to the divergence of this world line. Dr. Nakabachi? Important? I thought he was just some con artist.
じゃあ、行くよ。シートベルト締めて。
Ready to go? Fasten your seatbelt. I look underneath my butt to find what looks like a car seatbelt. I wrap it around my waist and fix my body to the seat.
結構揺れるのか。
Does it shake a lot?
揺れはほとんどないよ。
Shake? No, it doesn't shake. You mean it does something else? Wait, is this even safe? Suzuha leans forward and pushes a bright yellow button on the bottom of the panel. There are no windows, so I can't tell if the time machine is moving.
たった3週間だから、ものの2、3分で行けるはず。
It's only 3 weeks, so it shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 minutes. Suzuha fastens her own seatbelt and sighs.
最初に1975年へ飛んだ時なんかさ、6時間ぐらいかかって、暇でしょうがなかったよ。
When I first leapt to 1975, it was 6 long hours with nothing to do. I should have brought a book. I guess time travelers have their own problems.
2、3分だから、あえて酸素マスクはしてないけど、タイムトラベルの間、この中は無酸素状態になる。
Since it's only a few minutes, we won't bother with oxygen masks. Just be aware we'll have no oxygen for the duration. Holding your breath for a few minutes, huh?
No, 我慢しろと。
What? You mean I have to hold my breath?
ここに
Right here. Suzuha points to the center of the cylinder, the space between me and her.
エアポケットができるの。そこに頭を突っ込んでおけばさ、10分くらいは呼吸できるわけ。
Ah, okay. There'll be an air pocket. Stick your head inside and you'll have enough oxygen for about 10 minutes.
なあ、もし仮にクリスを救うのを失敗したらどうなる？
Hey, for argument's sake, what happens if we fail to save Krisu?
実はそんなに燃料はなかったりするんだよね。もともと入れておいた燃料はギリギリだから。2036年に帰る分の燃料もなかったり。
There's not much fuel left. We barely had enough to begin with. There's not enough for a return trip to 36, excuse me. What fuel does a time machine run off of? Curious.
つまり世界線を変えられなかったら、私はこの時代に残るしかないんだ。
So if we fail to change the world line, then I'll be stuck in this time.
でも心配しなくてもいいよ。8月20日から7月28日への往復はさ、まだ2回ぐらいなら可能だから。
Oh, but don't worry. As long as we're just traveling 3 weeks each way, we still have enough for 2 round trips. Okay, sounds pertinent. So what she's really saying is that we only have 2 chances. Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
燃料がないならどうやって2036年に帰るつもりだ？
But then, how do you plan to go back to 2036?
帰る予定はないんだよね。シュタインズゲートへ行けたら、この時代にタイムトラベルしてくる理由はなくなるでしょ？
I don't. Once we reach Steins Gate, I won't have any reason to come to this time in the first place, will I?
因果が再構成されるんだ。ここにいる私は消滅して、きっと2036年で平和に暮らしてるはずだよ。
Causality will be reconstructed. I should disappear from this time since I'll probably be living peacefully in 2036. Yeah, but then we get that common time travel thing where it goes. But then if you don't become the person that existed because of the World War III issue, then you never would have had to go. You know, that Suzuha never would have gone to the past in order to have orchestrated our leading to Steins Gate. I don't know. We always run into these sorts of issues in time travel stories. I mean, it could make sense, and I just don't know. You know, I don't have all the details straightened out for me just yet, but I guess we'll see.
というわけで、オカリンおじさんの頑張り次第。
But that all depends on you, Uncle Ocarine. Her tone is light, but her expression is serious. This is the first time in weeks that we've spoken, but I just now realized something about her. Suzuha is pretty reckless, isn't she? Uh-oh. Suddenly there's a zapping sound, and countless faint silver lights start floating around the cylinder. They look like moth dust or powdered snow. The lights slowly change colors. Violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Back to silver, violet, blue. The colors of the rainbow? I feel pressure on my entire body, similar to the sensation you feel as you ascend in an elevator. In an elevator, you feel as if you're being pulled downward. But instead, the time machine feels like it's pulling at my back. The feeling of pressure quickly increases. It starts to feel like I'm falling horizontally. I've never experienced anything like this. It's so uncomfortable I want to scream. The strangest thing is that the time machine itself isn't shaking. In fact, it doesn't seem to be moving at all. There's no noise, no vibration. It's eerie. The pulling sensation grows even stronger. I can hear my bones creaking. I imagine my body flattened like a pancake. It's not a pleasant thought. It's getting worse. I look at Suzuha. She has her eyes shut and her jaw clenched tight. I can no longer move. It feels like my back is glued to the wall. My vision begins to warp. And within my warping vision, the powder of light still shifts through the colors of the rainbow. It's strangely beautiful, like something out of a painting. And still I keep falling. Where is it taking me? Through a tunnel in space-time? All I know that I'm falling. Suddenly everything goes dark. I try to scream, but even my voice falls away. It doesn't even reach my own ears. It's gravity. There's an intense gravitational distortion behind me. And I'm still falling toward it. My vision slowly recovers. The smell of ozone fills my nostrils. Suzuha takes a deep breath and unfastens her seatbelt. We're here. I gulp for air. Did I really just travel through time? If so, then this is July 28th, the day Krisu and I first met. The day I sent the first email. The day it all began. Suzuha takes out a digital watch. It's a fairly old-fashioned design.
1975年で買ってきたんだ。でもまだ3年も使ってないよ。
I bought it in 1975, but it's not even 3 years old yet. This is where an uninformed person would say, in Japanese, please. Suzuha sets the watch to the correct time, then hands it to me. The display reads 11:51. Nakabashi's presentation starts at 12.
出るよ。オカリンおじさんは牧瀬クリスをマークして殺されるのを阻止して。
Let's do this. You keep an eye on Makise Kurisu. Stop whoever tries to kill her.
お前は
And you?
サポートに回る。
I'll back you up.
それと携帯を取り上げた理由と関係するけど、ここには7月28日現在のオカリンおじさんもいる。今世界に岡部倫太郎は2人いることになるの。
Also, remember how I took your phone? The you of July 28th is here too, meaning there are currently 2 Okabe Rintaros in this world.
いい？自分自身との接触は絶対避けて。深刻なタイムパラドックスが発生する可能性があるから。
Whatever you do, don't let your past self see you. It could cause a major time paradox.
タイターが言っていたことと違うが。
But Taito said that couldn't happen.
あれは単なるフェイク情報。
That was a lie. Misinformation. Come to think of it, Alpha Suzuha said that the stuff she posted about the Many Worlds interpretation was fake too.
了解だ。
Got it.
じゃあ状況開始。終わったらこのタイムマシン前に集合ね。
Then let's go. We'll rendezvous at the time machine when it's over. Suzuha finished her rust explanation and motions me toward the hatch. So do we have to make sure she lives for the day, or just that one moment? I open the hatch and grab the rim. I squeeze my way out. Suzuha crawls after me and closes the hatch.
おじさんは隠れて。私がおとりになる。
You hide. I'll provide a distraction. Suzuha runs up to the emergency door. And then, to my astonishment, she draws her gun and fires at the doorknob. The door opens easily. That must have broken the lock. Any minute, a crowd of people will run up these stairs to see what happened. My past self will be among them. I need to hide before they get here. That was a close one. I nearly bumped into myself on the 8th floor landing. Right after I ran downstairs to the 7th floor, I heard footsteps running the other way behind me. Those footsteps were mine, no doubt. It was a near miss. Okay, so this is already... Okay, there's already something missing here. Because Karisu said she had met us before the conference even started, right? Oh, no. This is before the conference. Because it starts at noon. Okay, I think we're still fine. So we should run into Karisu here. I mean, obviously, that's our objective, but... yeah. To be safe, I descend to the 4th floor before stopping to take a breath. I took a look around, but nobody's paying attention to me. Did we hear gunshots the first time round? In the very beginning? I don't remember that. We heard the roof shake like it was an earthquake. I wonder what Suzuha is doing. I'm worried, but I need to focus on my own mission. I must prevent Kurisu's death. In about 30 minutes from now, just after Nakabachi's presentation ends, someone will murder her. I know where it happens. The 8th floor hallway toward the back of the building where people rarely go. What I don't know is who stabbed her. Instead of running and drawing attention to myself, I should just wait at the scene. Let's cool off here for about 5 minutes, and then head over there. If I remember correctly, Karisu tried to talk to me in the assembly hall, but I blew her off and came down here. After that, I tried calling Mayuri, but her phone was off, and I couldn't get through. So I went back up to the assembly hall to find her. What time was that? I searched my memories, trying to plot the actions I took on July 28th. It sounded simple when Suzuha said it, but staying away from my past self is going to take a lot more work than I thought. We should have planned this out a bit better. I mean, we could have time-traveled whenever we wanted to, right? We should have sat down with Suzuha and thoroughly planned this out before actually going back. Kind of just went at the... It was like a spur-of-the-moment thing, but we should have talked about it a bit more. Frustration mounts. I shoved Suzuha's watch into my pocket to quash it. Just then... Excuse me. That voice. I turn around.
Chris.
私、あなたと面識ありました?
Do I know you?
いや。
No.
さっき、このビルの屋上から降りてきましたよね?
You came down from the roof just now, didn't you? She looks at me with those beautiful eyes, eyes shining with intelligence and strength of will. I thought I would never see her again. But now before my very eyes is the girl I love. Tears well up in my eyes. I want to embrace her right this instant. It takes everything I have to resist the urge. Don't forget, this is our first meeting. This Karisu doesn't know me.
屋上で妙な音がしたし、ビルが揺れたように感じたけど、それと何か関係が?
I heard a strange sound from the roof. Is that why the building shook just now?
一体何があったんですか? ドクター中鉢の仕込みとか言わないですよね?
What's going on? It's not Dr. Nakabachi's doing, is it? Why did I have to run into Karisu of all people? I can't answer. I'm afraid that if I speak, I'll be unable to contain my emotions. The memory of her last smile is burned into my mind, imploring me to act.
聞いてますか? すごい汗ですけど.
Are you listening? You're sweating like crazy. Karisu looks at me with suspicion. What would happen if I were to grab Karisu and run? Would divergence change? Would her murder be averted? I recall all the times Mayuri died. I recall all the times I time-leaped to save her. Everything I tried ended in vain. I was unable to save her even once. No matter what I did, the world itself killed her. Won't it be the same with Krisu? Should I even try? Reach toward Krisu, my hand shaking. Hey, what's the big idea? She steps back in surprise and fear, clutching a manila envelope in her chest, or to her chest. This is our first meeting. I know that, but to me, she's still the girl I love. If I'd been thinking straight a second ago, I would have realized that my plan to grab her and flee wasn't going to work. Krisu would never follow some strange man she only just met. Running away isn't an option. All I can do is wait at the scene of the crime. Fighting against the urge to stay, I force myself to turn and leave. Please answer my question. But Krisu pursues me. Why is she so desperate to know who I am? I do look suspicious, I'll admit that. But if she thinks I'm dangerous, why would she come alone? Turn around reluctantly and meet Krisu's stare. Answer me. She did have that envelope. I remember that from the artwork from the beginning. Can I really save you? The words catch in my throat. Can I save her? I don't know. All I know is that convergence is merciless and cruel, and that I am powerless to stop it. Can you what? Shake my head, then bolt for the stairs before Krisu can act. Wait! Stop! When I make it back to the 8th floor, the presentation has already started. I peek in through the door of the assembly hall. Who the hell am I? Someone who knows you for a fraud, that's who. Someone in the audience is shouting at Dr. Nakabachi, and that someone is me. Now I remember. I confronted Dr. Nakabachi in the middle of his presentation. I called him a fraud for ripping off John Titor's posts. From this angle, I look like a real asshole. Someone throw this man out. Staff members approach. Damn, this is embarrassing. But there's nothing I can do from here. I need to leave before Krisu appears. I turn around and head deeper into the dim passage. Here we are. An image flashes through my mind. She was lying there, at the end of this passage, in a puddle of her own blood. 20 minutes from now. That's exactly when it will happen. Can I prevent it? I must. Whatever it takes. There's a pile of junk. Toolboxes, cardboard and the like, about halfway down the passage. That's the perfect hiding spot. I crouch behind them. Now all I have to do is wait for Krisu to show. But what will I do when she does? Only now do I realize I'm completely unarmed. I really didn't think this through. Yeah. And that's kind of the... Of all the stuff going on right now, that's kind of the weirdest part. That you and Suzuha did not come up with a game plan. Like, you'd think Suzuha would say before they leave, okay, we're gonna have to save Krisu. You were there. Can you tell me everything that happened down to the most minute detail before we leave, so we know what to do, where to go, and come up with some kind of game plan other than just save Krisu? Because, Suzuha said we don't have time, but you had time. Okay. Krisu was lying in a pool of blood. That means her killer had a weapon. Since I didn't hear a gunshot, it must have been a knife or something similar. How am I going to defend her and myself? Is there anything around here that might work as a weapon? I still have about 20 minutes. One wrong move and someone might catch me. I shouldn't leave this spot. Maybe I'm being overly cautious, but this is my only chance to prevent Krisu's death. I don't want to jeopardize that. I don't know what I'd do if I ran into Krisu again. It's a miracle that I managed to tear myself away last time. The longer I wait in the darkness, the harder it becomes. The anticipation is killing me. So far, not a single soul has passed down this hallway. I can faintly hear Nakabachi's voice through the mic from far away. That's it. Don't tell me it's going to be something like an accident. The silence does nothing but increase my tension. To make matters worse, it's hot and humid. I guess the air conditioner's not on back here. My entire body is drenched in sweat, and I haven't been hiding for even a minute. Sweat drips from my brow to the floor. I rub it out with my shoe. I have to keep waiting. There's no other choice. I stay there, crouched in the darkness for what seems like an eternity. In the distance, I hear the sound of sparse applause. Glance at Suzuha's watch. It's 12:26. I guess the presentation's over. Peek out from behind the boxes, and just then... I hear footsteps approaching. Now that they brought attention to the envelope, I'm thinking it's going to have something to do with that. What if it's something like she has, for whatever reason, notes about time travel, and then Dr. Nakabachi walks up and give me those notes, and she says no, but then he kills her and takes it, or something. I don't know. I quickly duck back behind cover. My heart is pounding. Someone's coming this way. Who? Is it Krisu's murderer? I clench my teeth and try to drive away the tension. I can only pray that I won't be found. Finally, the footsteps pass right by my hiding spot. Moving only my eyes, I sneak a glance at the person. Krisu. There's no one with her. Didn't expect Krisu to be the first to appear. What is she doing back here? This area is for employees only. Now that I think about it, Krisu's murder made no sense. Why was she killed in a place she would normally never come? Careful to keep quiet, I watch Krisu from the shadows. About 5 meters down the hall, she stops walking and leans against the wall. I mean, I don't know, trying to think of things here. She dies in an accident. Nakabachi kills her. Somehow we kill her. Her dad. She's not actually dead. It was a fake out. I don't know. Tell me, please, Steins Gate. I'm in suspense, just like Okabe. She's holding that manila envelope I saw her with earlier. She peeks inside and smiles softly. Why is she smiling? Krisu rarely smiles like that. Nakabachi isn't her dad, is it? That would be crazy. I mean, it's more like her to glare at people. I mean, she did come to America to meet her dad, right? And her dad is interested in time travel. And we know they were estranged. Maybe Krisu took on her mother's Name? That envelope. I search my memories again. When Krisu approached me during Nakabachi's presentation, I'm pretty sure she was holding that envelope. But did she have it when I discovered her body? I don't remember seeing it. What could be inside to make Krisu smile like that? I can't begin to imagine. Krisu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there, head hung, her face hidden behind her long hair. Can't read her expression. Is she waiting for someone? Who? Who would she meet in a place like this? That's when I hear another set of footsteps approaching. I can't see who it is from where I'm hiding, but given the timing, it has to be the person who killed Krisu. And as proof, Krisu raises her head. Upon recognizing the newcomer, she lifts her head back off of the wall. Her expression softens slightly. And the footsteps come even closer. Who is it? Nakabachi. I'm guessing Nakabachi. I wanted to talk. Krisu suddenly starts speaking. The footsteps pass right by my hiding spot. I'm so tense I can't move a muscle. The newcomer finally appears in my narrow field of vision. And it's... Yep, it's Nakabachi. Okay, now, are you her dad?
No.
Dr. Nakabachi. Slap a hand over my mouth to keep from shouting in astonishment. You know, it's going to be really funny. Well, not funny, but kind of interesting that Krisu is kind of the catalyst for CERN coming to power due to her time travel research. And apparently in the Beta World line, World War III, what sets it off is Dr. Nakabachi's time travel research. So, that's quite the father-daughter, what would you say? I don't know, pedigree? that both of them and both of their research are able to cause distinct apocalypses? That, if that's the case, that's kind of funny.
それと一つ忠告を。ドクター中鉢には気をつけて。
Oh, one more thing. Watch out for Dr. Nakabachi. Something else occurs to me. Why would Krisu, an accomplished scientist, attend the presentation of a man like Nakabachi? He's just a 2-bit inventor. Only 15 people came to hear him speak. That's including trolls like me. There wasn't even any press coverage. He's a marginalized scientist who is devoted to time travel research. Besides, Krisu hates time travel science. That much was obvious from her lecture at ATF. In that case, it's obvious why she's here. She didn't come to see his presentation. She came to see him. But why? What could be the connection? Wait. It can't be. I think it can.
聞いてるの？パパ。
Aha. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people who figured it out pretty early on. I think as soon as, like, we're going way back, when Krisu first mentioned that her dad was a, marginalized scientist who enjoys time travel research, you probably could have just made the connection between him and Nakabachi right then and there. But I didn't. But I'm glad I was able to at least get it before it happened. So that's good. Are you listening, Papa? Papa. He's her father. Her estranged father, who she told me she hadn't seen in 7 years. Krisu did say her father was a physicist, and Nakabachi certainly is a physicist, though the scientific community at large has rejected his research. But wait, does this mean that Nakabachi killed his own daughter? If that's the case, then wow, Nakabachi is well, any words I say probably will not be good enough to describe the idea of a man killing his own daughter. None of my words will be good enough to describe that, or bad enough in that sense. I mean, would it be something as bad as she, in an attempt to, you know, in an attempt to get on his good side, did she do some time travel research and then in his jealousy, he kills her and takes it? Would it be something as... In which case, that would go against what I said earlier about the father and daughter both causing apocalypses. Technically, it would be Krisu again, because it'd be her research, but... yeah, that'd be terrible. Or was it someone else? Someone who's yet to appear? Okay, maybe it's a third party. Let's see. There's no way to know. If I could be sure that Nakabachi was the killer, then I would intervene right now. But I'm not. Better keep watching and see what happens. What is that? I heard you were giving a presentation on time travel. Oh, it totally is. She totally did some time travel research, and either he got jealous or... Oh, that's terrible. So I thought about it too. Could it be possible to make a time machine? Krisu wrote a paper on time travel? But when she spoke at ATF, she rejected the very idea of time travel. Although, come to think of it, she was awfully interested in the phone wave. Damn, I forgot how much of a tsundere she was. I'd like your opinion, Papa. We can publish it, or we can polish it together, then submit it to the scientific community. I don't know if they'll listen, but just in case, I do have acquaintances at Science Magazine. Nakabachi takes out the document and stares, and starts reading it with a disgusted frown. So that's what it was. She didn't have anything dangerous in that envelope, like drugs or a gun. It's just some document. I didn't know we thought otherwise. Didn't know that those were options here, Okabe, but okay. But that raises a new question. Could that be the Nakabachi paper? According to Suzuha, that document sparked a time travel arms race that ultimately led to World War III and the deaths of 5.7 billion people. EU とロシアによる開発競争が火種になって、それにアメリカまでが横やりを入れたから収拾がつかなくなった。It started with a race between the EU and Russia. Then the Americans got involved and things really went to hell. Is that why Krisu's safety is so important to changing Divergence? Okay, forget Mother of Time Travel. Krisu's just the mother of apocalypse. She just... whatever she does, she's causing disaster, apparently. I get it now. Nothing is coincidence. There's only inevitability. Nakabachi flips restlessly through the document. He's not even trying to hide his irritation. Did I ask you to write this? Well, no, but... You invited me to come, remember? It was the first time we'd talked in 7 years. That's what got me thinking.
もしかすると作れるかもしれないんじゃないかって思えるようになった。
And as I worked on the thesis, I started to realize that it might actually be possible to build a time machine.
もしその論文が認められたら学会を追放されたパパのリベンジになるかも。
If the thesis is published, you could have your revenge on the scientific community for shunning you.
私は追放されたのではない。
I wasn't shunned. Nakabachi suddenly shrieks at Krisu, causing her to shrink back in fear.
あの連中は私のレベルの高さに嫉妬するしか能がなかった。そんな奴らに嫌気がさして私の方が見切りをつけたのだ。
Those incompetent bastards were just jealous of my superiority. I was the one who gave up on them.
怒鳴らないでよ。
Please don't yell. Nakabachi gives his daughter a disdainful snort, then goes back to flipping through the paper.
パパって読むの早いね。昔とちっとも変わってない。
You read really fast, Papa. Just like I remember. Nakabachi even ignores Krisu's words of endearment.
悪くない内容だ。
Not bad.
本当？
You think so?
この論文はパパと共同署名でもいいと私は思って。
We can submit it jointly, if you like. I don't mind.
学会には出すな。これは私が預かっておく。
No, don't do anything. I'll take care of it.
どういうこと？
What do you mean?
どういうことだとわからんのか。たかがサイエンス誌に低レベルな論文が掲載された程度でいい気になるなということだ。
What do I mean? I mean, don't think you're special just because you got your plebeian thesis published in some magazine.
なんだ。親に対してその顔は何だ。
What? Is that how you look at your own father?
ごめん。
Sorry. Why did you invite her in the first place? Were you hoping she was going to just on a whim decide to type up a paper that gave you the idea? I mean, this goes without saying. I hadn't said it until now, but okay, he's just cartoonishly evil. Megalomaniacal. Just a completely terrible person in every way, it seems. But why would you invite her in the first place? After a 7-year gap? An awkward silence follows. I feel no warmth between these two. The only thing I feel is distance. Krisu, in particular, seems desperate to avoid upsetting her father.
ねえ、久しぶりに会ったことだし、いろいろと話したいんだけど、パパは今、青森に住んでるんだっけ？
We haven't seen each other in a while. There's a lot I want to talk about. You're living in Aomori now, right? Krisu is trying to maintain a cheerful tone, but I can see that her expression is stiff. I remember how she said she had trouble dealing with her father.
私って父親に嫌われてるのよね。
I think my father hates me. Yeah. At least initially, my initial impression is that's probably the case, Krisu. She looked so lonely when she spoke those words.
帰る。
Leave.
さっさとアメリカに帰れ。二度と顔を見せるな。
Go back to America. Never show your face to me again.
でも、
But
何が意見が聞きたいだ。何が共同署名だ。本心ではそんなことこれっぽっちも思っていないだろうが。
you want my opinion? We'll submit it jointly. You don't mean any of that. I know how you think. Sounds like a child with an inferiority complex.
私を憐れんどるのか。それとも蔑んどるのか。娘の分際で。
Yeah, that too. Inferiority complex. Is this pity? How dare you? You're supposed to be my daughter.
何言ってるのよ。落ち着いて。
I don't understand. Please calm.
私は十分落ち着いておる。指図するな。
I am calm. Don't tell me what to do. This is bad. It's almost time for Krisu's murder. Was it really Nakabachi, her own father, who killed her?
私が今日この場にお前を呼んだ理由を教えてやる。勝ち誇りたかったのだよ。お前に私の研究の偉大さを見せびらかすことでな。
I'll tell you why I called you here today. I wanted to show you my research. Research beyond even what you can imagine.
お前が絶望するほどの差を知らしめてやろうとしたのだ。
I wanted to prove, once and for all, that you were nothing compared to me.
なのにあの妙な若造のせいで全て台無しだ。そしてお前がそんな私を見て鼻で笑っていたのも知っているぞ。どこまで親をバカにすれば気が済む。
But that brat in the lab coat ruined everything. I know you were laughing at me too. Don't you deny it. How dare you treat your father this way?
笑ってなんて。
I wasn't...
この論文に意見が欲しいのか？意見ならここで言ってやる。
You want my opinion on this thesis? Fine. I'll give it to you. Nakabachi rolls right over Krisu's objections. It's like he doesn't even hear her own her voice.
論文は私の名前で発表する。以上だ。
I'm going to publish it myself. End of discussion.
まさか、パパ、盗むの？
You're stealing it, Papa.
なんだと？
What did you say?
私の論文、盗むの？そんなことだけはしない人だって思っていたのに。
You're stealing my work? I didn't think even you would do something like... Nakabachi suddenly whirls and strikes Krisu across the face. What do I do? I know I should do something, but what?
誰に対して口を聞いておるのだ？
Who do you think you're talking to? Nakabachi throws the paper aside and seizes his daughter by the throat. Krisu gasps for air. Her face twists in pain as his grip tightens.
お前に私の気持ちがわかるか？なぜお前はそんなに優秀なのだ？私はお前が憎い。存在そのものが疎ましいのだよ。
You can't possibly understand how I feel. Why did you have to be so talented? I detest you. I hate your very existence.
私より優秀な人間などこの世にいてはならんのだ。わかるか？屈辱なのだ。娘が親より優秀でいい道理などない。
Nobody is allowed to be better than me. Understand? Nobody. Especially not my own daughter.
だから遠ざけた。お前と親子だと思われるのが耐えられなかった。
That's why I abandoned you. Couldn't bear the shame of being your father.
お前がいたせいで。お前のせいで。
It's all your fault. It's all your fault. This is completely absurd. I agree. He's blaming her for her own failures. I've seen enough. He's the killer for sure. I burst from my hiding spot. I don't see a knife, though. No knife.
Yose!
Stop. I ram into him with my shoulder as hard as I can, knocking him away from Krisu. Krisu gasps for breath. Who the hell are you? I won't let you kill Krisu. I'm going to save Krisu. I'm going to save her and change the future. Even a weakling like me can pin down an old man like Nakabachi. Then I can get Suzuha to call the police and... The memory of Krisu's body flashes through my mind. No, it won't turn out like that. Steadying himself with one hand against the wall, Nakabachi gets to his feet and looks straight at me. The instant our eyes meet, his face twists with rage. You!
お前のせいで私の発表会は台無しだ。
You're the brat who ruined my presentation. His presentation? Right, of course. I called him out on his lies during the presentation. Nakabachi's mistaking me for my past self. Understandable, since we look exactly the same.
よくも抜け抜けと私の前に顔を出せたな。どいつもこいつも私の邪魔ばかりする。
How dare you show your face before me? Why does everyone get in my way?
さてはお前、クリスと示し合わせていたな。そうだ、そうなんだろう。
I know. You and Kurisu planned this, didn't you? Didn't you? He's delusional.
許さんぞ、ガキども。
You brats won't get away with this. Nakabachi glares at me with bloodshot eyes, then takes something out of his pocket. At first I can't tell what it is, but then I see it glint in the dim light. A knife. The blade is about 20 centimeters long. I can't help but shiver at its cold shine. Why is he even carrying something like that? Is he completely insane? Wait, is that the weapon that killed Kurisu? I won't let that happen. Damn. Why is my brain so fixated on that scene?
私をバカにするな!
You'll pay for mocking me. Nakabachi charges like an enraged bull. No hesitation. No sign of hesitation whatsoever. He raises his knife high. I instinctively dodge back. The knife misses me by a hair. He gathers himself for another strike. The sight of his face twisted in madness and rage fills me with terror. I want to scream. He's going to kill me. No, don't be afraid. I can't die here. The past is already decided. But wait. If the past is already decided, then doesn't that mean I can't save Kurisu? I shake off the thought. Just think about saving her.
Ayamare!
Apologize. Swallowing my fear, I force myself to stop running away. Instead, I lunge forward. I knock Nakabachi's hand aside. The knife falls from his grip and clatters to the floor. I leap on it and pick it up. That was easier than I expected. Stop it, Papa.
指図をするな!
Don't tell me what to do. I look up in surprise. Nakabachi has taken a screwdriver from a toolbox left in the passage. Kurisu is walking toward him, pleading with him to stop. She's completely defenseless. No, Kurisu, stay away from him. You're the one in danger, not me. Just when I thought I disarmed him, he finds something else. Even a screwdriver can kill someone with enough force behind it.
Kurisu! Nigero!
Kurisu, run. Kurisu glances at me, but she doesn't move. Why won't she run away?
Papa! Baka na mane wa yamete!
This is crazy, Papas. Please stop.
何がわかる? 何がわかる? 何が?
What do you know? What do you know? Nakabachi has completely lost his mind. Nothing she can say will reach him.
お前さえいなければ!
If only you'd never been born. Nakabachi turns to Kurisu, brandishing his screwdriver. But Kurisu still doesn't run away. Blood spurts from the arm Kurisu used to guard her face. She's going to die. I have to do something. I grip the knife firmly in my hands. Kurisu won't die if I kill Nakabachi first. That image again. Stop getting in my way. I won't be tied to that past. I need to do this, to change the future, to save Kurisu.
Nakabachi!
As Nakabachi raises his arm for another blow, I thrust my knife at his unprotected back. Yep. Yeah, this was one of the ways. Yeah, I could see that. Excuse me. I could see that. I could see that one coming. At least it was a pretty firm possibility. that she was going to step in for her father. Plus the idea that, so, you know, I said it earlier, that somehow Okabe is the one that kills her. Hey, Suzuha, you said there was a possibility for 2 round trips, right? I think we're gonna need that second round trip. This one is not so good. I think we failed this one. Oh. Okay, my throat's killing me. That was a lot. And I just feel very deflated all at once. Should I try to finish this scene? I don't know how long the scene's gonna go on for, that's the thing. But it does feel like a pretty bad place to stop. Let's see if we can get just to the end of this scene. Through the knife, my hand feels resistance. The sensation of tearing through flesh, scraping bone. It's surprisingly tough. But at the same time, feel the flesh pulsating. It shifts in time with my victim's breath. I stabbed. I stabbed. Why? I can't believe my eyes. What happened? I tried to stab Nakabachi. The blade should have pierced his back. And yet, the last minute, Krisu forced herself between us, as if to protect Nakabachi. Why? Strength drains from Krisu's body. She slumps against me, her head on my shoulder.
バカどもにはふさわしい末路だ。
A fitting end for you fools. Laughing maniacally, Nakabachi picks up the dropped thesis and runs to the elevator at the far end of the hall. I can't chase him. I know what's going to happen if I don't stop him, but I can't take a single step. Is this a joke? Is this the punchline? I don't know about joke, but it certainly was a possibility just through the fact that it would have been the worst possible thing that could have happened, and thus it was always a distinct possibility. So, in a sense, yes, I think it is. I wanted to know who killed Krisu. And now, I'm sorry. Krisu speaks, her voice barely a whisper. I feel something wet on my hands. Wet and warm. Blood. Krisu's blood. Gushing from her wound. It's warm, but not hot. And yet, it feels like it's burning my hands. I try to pull the knife out. If I can stop the bleeding, maybe she'll be okay. But my hands won't move. It's like they've turned to stone. My arms, my fingers. No matter how hard I try, they won't move an inch. Krisu's breathing quickly grows labored. She's suffering. I didn't mean for this to happen. This isn't what I wanted. Why won't my hands move? I want to pull the knife out. I want to ease her pain. Why won't my body obey me? It's as if someone else is in control. Krisu's body convulses against mine. The pain must be unbearable. Is there nothing I can do to help her? I want to cry. Why? The only thing I can think to do is ask.
あれでも父親だから。
Because he's still my father.
私ずっと認められたかった。
I just wanted him to accept me.
パパに認めて欲しくて、いつも勉強。
I studied so hard, hoping he would praise me.
でも今さら分かった。
But now, finally understand.
パパは私なんて認めたくなかった。
Papa didn't want to accept me.
バカみたいよね。
I'm such an idiot.
なのになんで私パパをかばったのかな。
Why did I save him, I wonder?
ごめんなさい。見ず知らずのあなたを巻き込んで。
Sorry for getting you involved.
痛っ。
It hurts.
私死ぬのかな。
Hey, am I going to die?
死にたくないよ。
I don't want to die.
終わり。いや。
I don't want it to end like this. Her voice is fading fast. Don't die. Please don't die on me. But my prayers are in vain.
助け。
Help me. Her body suddenly grows heavy, and I can no longer hear the sound of her breathing. And yet the blood from her wound is still warm. I killed her. I killed her. The one who killed Karisu was me. As I scream, another me looks down from above. As he hears the sound of my despair, the last piece of the puzzle clicks into place. The scream I heard from that day was my own.
オカリンおじさん。
Okay. I'm gonna call it there. We'll talk about that scene and everything that led up to it next time. I've been The Worm, this has been Steins Gate. I hope you're all doing alright, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.